Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? What a day it has been so far. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. It has been quite a day. And I still have quite a day left because it's Tuesday. And Alex is going to come home, and then I'm going to take a shower when I get done vlogging. And then I'm going to get ready to go to my meeting tonight. And then he's going to take me over to Tanya Jean's. Then we're going to go to our home group meeting. And then I'm going to come home. And then I'm going to watch some TV shows. So last night, let's see. I don't even remember what we watched. Alex got home last night. Well, he was home yesterday when I was vlogging, I believe. Oh, no. He went to... I think he got home like right as I was getting done vlogging yesterday, correct? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because he had this like all-day meeting, and then they went out and had like drinks at the steakhouse yesterday. So anyway, so he came home and he was like exhausted, and he was like went right up to bed, and he was like laying in bed with Boo Radley, and then I got done vlogging, and then I was putting my vlog together and getting everything done, and then I went upstairs, I laid down with him, and when everything was said and done, I was like, okay, I'm gonna lay down for just a little bit. And it was like, at that point, you guys, it was like 8:30 or 9. It was like really, really early. And I did not set an alarm, and I completely fell asleep. And I woke up, and I remembered Alex like taking Boo Radley down to go outside and give him his medicine and stuff like that. But other than that, like, and I kind of woke up for a second. I don't remember anything. And I woke up and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was wide awake. I mean, like, because I'd had like a full night's sleep at that point, right? And I was like wide awake. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, should I just lay here and go to sleep? And I knew that I wanted to vote today, and I was like, well, if I go to sleep now and I get up and the voting polls open at 6, then maybe I can figure out, because I was like, okay, that was when I hadn't really thought about like trying to get a ride to go vote. And I was like, okay, the earlier I get up, the better chance I have of getting a ride to go vote. But I was like, nobody's going to be up at 6 o'clock except for, you know, Alex, because he's going to work. Which, had I thought about this, like I'm just thinking about this now, he could have taken me on the way and dropped me off, and then I could have Ubered home. But in all honesty, like, I didn't even think about that. So... and then I would have been like, I would have gone to bed at like 9 or 10 o'clock, and I would have been so tired. But anyway, so I got up, and the newest episode of Dragula came out last night at midnight, and I really wanted to watch that. So I watched the newest episode of Dragula, and then I watched 2 episodes of Manifest. I'm trying to like get caught up with Manifest because the 4th season, the 4th and final season, just came out on Netflix. So I'm on season 2. I'm now on episode 5 or 6. Well, I was on episode 3, 4 and a half, 5, 6. So I'm on episode 6 now. And there's 13 episodes a season. So I'm trying to like get through these seasons because I want to get to season 4. A lot of people are saying that they got really bored of Manifest in season 2. I'm not bored of it. Like, I feel like this is the thing about Manifest, is that they always do some cliffhanger at the very end of an episode. So it makes you want to watch the next episode to find out what happens. And I feel like with this show versus a lot of other shows, whatever the cliffhanger is at the end of the episode, they kind of answer, or like they kind of like pursue it pretty quickly at the beginning of the next episode. You know how like with a lot of shows there'll be like a cliffhanger, and then like you don't find out about it again until the next episode at the very end, and they kind of cliffhanger, you know, it all along. Like Manifest doesn't really do that. But the other thing I love about Manifest is there's like this ongoing kind of like mystery all the way through the entire show. But then there's also, like, each episode has its own mystery. It's very much like The Lincoln Lawyer. It's very much like Daily Alaska, or Alaska Daily, whatever that show's called. Where there's like a mystery that is carried out through like the whole season. But then there's also each episode. has a mystery. I was just like reading online because I was like Google searching whether or not Alaska Daily got picked up for another season, and it was like it hasn't been decided if it has or not. But all these people were saying that, like, all these different articles were saying that it probably won't get picked up for another season, and it's like a really good show. Every show, like, if you want to know what show is going to get canceled, just ask me, because it's whatever show I like pick up to start watching new. I remember I watched that Stephen King show's Dome or Globe or something. I was really into that. That got canceled. I remember I watched that show that had to do with these witches in this small town. That got canceled, and I really liked it. I remember I watched the show, The Red Band Society. I loved that show. It got canceled. Like every show that I watch, Dead Like Me, I loved that show, it got canceled. Looking, I loved that show, it got canceled. Every show that I watch that I really, really like ends up getting canceled. Well, in the past, not so much now, because I just kind of like fire through these shows. Apparently, Peacock is putting out, or it's already out, a new documentary about Casey Anthony. Do we really need another documentary about her? Like, seriously? I don't really care to hear what she has to say, and that's just the truth of how I feel about it. After having, read the book about the case, and watched the videos, and watched her just... I don't know. I feel intrigued to watch the documentary to see if she has anything to say about it, about the case. And apparently it's like all these new truths will come out and whatever. What's she gonna say? She's not gonna come out and say anything that's gonna implicate herself, right? So it's not like anything new is gonna come out in this documentary. But I'll probably watch it and end up doing a review on it. And then, White Lotus just came out. I want to start watching that. And then there's a show on Netflix. I just watched the trailer for it. I'm kind of interested in it. If somebody has watched it, put it in the comment section below and let me know what you thought of it. I think it's called Orgasm Inc. And it's about this person. It kind of reminds me of the Teal Swan documentary, honestly, on Hulu. It's about this woman, I think, woman or people that started this business where they were like teaching. It looks like they were teaching primarily like about female orgasm, but then there were men that were involved in it too. So I don't know like where that all comes into it, but then it got like real sketchy apparently, and like the FBI got involved, and I don't really know anything about it, but I just watched the trailer on it and it looked kind of interesting. And that's like I think it's only one part. So I added that to my list, and I might watch that. But I think tonight I'm just going to watch Manifest. I have a hair appointment tomorrow. So I got to get up and get ready and arrange for my Uber to come pick me up, take me to my hair appointment, and then Uber home from that. And then, I also have the Shane Dawson part 2 of his series, which I'm so excited to watch tonight. But I'm going to watch that so that I can do my video responding to that tomorrow. Yeah, so it's so weird that it's getting dark so early out. I mean, it is like, you guys, it's like starting to get like really dark. It feels dark to me. I mean, it doesn't really look that dark on camera. It's kind of weird how like night and day like shows up on camera. It's like, because it feels really dark to me right now. I mean, it doesn't feel like dark like 2 o'clock in the morning, but it feels like if you had me guess like what time it was just of any time of year, I would say it's probably 7:30 p.m. and it's like, what did I say? Like, I think it's like 5:45 is when I came out here. I texted Alex, 5:40, I think it said 5:44 when I came out here. I texted Alex because he hasn't left work yet, and I said I'm getting ready to vlog. I'm uploading a video on my phone, so I won't be able to text or answer it. And he didn't respond, so he's probably in the middle of something. Little bit Radley has been so cute and so good today. So yeah, got up today, and then I was like, okay, after staying up and watching the shows last night. I had such a good time watching my shows last night. When I get into it, like I could literally just like binge watch like 12 hours of a TV show. Are you guys like that? Oh my God, I really could. And so I woke up today and I was like, okay, you've got to start like right away figuring out like how you're gonna get a ride. And I was like, the thing is that the voting polls, the closest one to us is like 5 minutes, like by car, but probably not even that, honestly. And well, yeah, it's probably 7 minutes. And so I didn't really want to take an Uber because it'll take 20 minutes for an Uber to get here. And I didn't want to take an Uber, like, because it just was, anyway, I just didn't want to take an Uber. So I was just like, I called several different people and I couldn't get a hold of anybody. And then I called my friend Valerie and her car was getting worked on, so she couldn't come and get me. And she was like, well, let me check on my car. And then her car still wasn't ready. And so then I called Melissa because I wasn't sure if Melissa had voted already. I should have called Melissa yesterday is what I should have done, because Melissa and I vote at the same place because we live in like the same neighborhood area. And so I should have just called her yesterday and been like, hey, what time are you going to vote? Can you let me know? And then I could have just gone with Melissa. That would have been the easiest solution. But of course, I didn't think ahead. So I called Melissa. She didn't answer. And then I was texting Alex and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm trying to find a ride to go to the church to vote. And I said, I'm thinking about, I'm getting ready to Uber if I can't find somebody. Because it was getting later in the day. It was like, at that point, it was like 2:30. And I was like, I've got to figure this out. I hadn't heard from Tanya yet. She got back late last night. And so I was like, I don't know if she's going to want to go to the meeting tonight. And so if she does, like, I can't just walk through the door at 5:30 and then, like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I wanted to still vlog and make some videos and whatnot. So Alex was like, well, I was just texting this friend of his and she's not working today or doing anything. Let me see if she'll come and pick you up. And I was like, no, I feel bad. Like, she lives like 15, 20 minutes away. And he was like, she won't mind at all. Don't worry about it. And so he texted me back and he was like, oh no, she totally was willing to pick you up. And so I called her and I was like, are you sure? And she was like, oh yeah, I'm not doing anything. She was like, I can be there in like 15 or I can be there in 20 minutes. And I was like, do you mind taking me through Starbucks too? She was like, no, not at all. I really want to go to Starbucks. I need my coffee for the day. So she was so sweet. She came and got me and we went through Starbucks and then she took me to the church and we pulled in and the parking lot was packed. It was so packed. It was so weird because, like, for the presidential election, which was the last time I voted there, the line, I got there, I vlogged that if you guys remember, like, showing up there and stuff. I got there pretty early in the morning. I didn't get there like at 6 o'clock, I don't think. But I got there like pretty soon after the polls opened. I remember like vlogging that morning and I was like, just gonna stay up and then go vote. Do you guys remember that? So, and then I think I went and got breakfast or something afterwards, I can't remember. But anyway, when I voted for the presidential election, so the church like backs up to this woods in this neighborhood, but there's like a lot of woods behind it. The line for the presidential election, there's like this sidewalk in front of this church, and then like it's like this driveway. It's like this parking lot in front and then this driveway that goes down back with, like, you know, parking spots, and then that goes into the woods. It goes all the way around the building, but that goes back into the woods. And the line for the presidential election was like into the woods. And when I pulled up today, it was like all the way at the end of the sidewalk almost. When I came out, it was at the end of the sidewalk. And I was like, oh, well, this is what happened. So after I got off the phone with her to come pick me up, Melissa called. And she was like, hey, she was like, I saw that you called. I wanted to make sure I called you back. And I was like, oh, thanks. And she was like, what'd you need, babe? And I was like, well, I wanted to see if you had voted yet, because I was looking, you know, to see if I could get a ride up there. And she was like, oh my God, I just got done voting. And she had a bunch of things that she was getting ready to do, so she couldn't come pick me up and take me there. She was like, I wish I had known. She was like, I would have just like come and got you and then you could have gone and voted with me. And I was like, oh, you're so sweet. And this is the UPS guy. Am I getting something? It looks like I am. Okay, I thought instead of making you guys wait, I would just go get the package, and it ended up being a little bit longer because I was like talking to the guy, and then he was really nice, and then I had to take the package inside and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, what was I saying before? Oh, I was talking about how Melissa called. So Melissa called, and she was like, you know, like, I just wanted to like make sure that I called you back, and I was like telling her that Alex's friend was picking me up, and I said, well, I'm just gonna like run in real quick and vote and then run back out. I really thought like, well, a couple years ago, before the presidential election, when it wasn't a presidential election, I voted at the fire station. It was different. You don't vote there anymore. Now it's a church that I voted at this time. And the last time that I voted at the fire station, I mean, I literally was like in and out in like 5 minutes. It was so 5-10 minutes max. It was really, really quick. And so I just thought it would be that today, you know? And so I said that to Melissa on the phone, and she paused, and she said, yeah, it took me like an hour standing in line. And I go, what? And she was like, yeah, it was like over an hour that I had to stand in line to vote. And she's like, which is really good. She was like, because people are getting out to vote, you know? And I said, yeah, I guess. I said, I just didn't realize it was going to be that long. Oh, this is going in and out of focus again. So, so Alex's friend came, and she was so sweet, and she picked me up, and we went through Starbucks and got coffee. We got I think they're new, the vanilla. I got a grande. We got the exact same thing, vanilla nitro cold brew. It was okay. Wasn't very vanilla-y. I was kind of looking for something with a little bit of flavor. I didn't want to get one of the Christmas drinks. I wasn't really feeling that today, actually. Was just going to get just a regular iced coffee, and then I was like, oh, I should try something a little bit different. But anyway, so, what was I going to say? So yeah, so, and then she took me to the church, and when we pulled into the church, I was like, oh my gosh, like the line was like a mile long, and I was like, oh wow, and the parking lot was completely packed. And so we, so she was just like, well, where do you want me to drop? I said, you can just drop me off, like, right. She like went in front and like dropped me off and stuff like that. She was like, are you sure you don't want me to wait? And I was like, no, you don't have to wait. Don't worry about it. And so she dropped me off. She was so sweet. And I went and I waited, and there was a line all the way outside in front of the church. And then when you went inside, like, it was interesting because for the presidential election, it like, it went down the hall, kind of, and the hall, I mean, it's not like a real deep hallway. You went down the hall, and then it went back up, and then you just went in and voted. This time, it was like, in like the waiting area of the church chapel, and it was like a really long line. It's interesting to me in situations like that. These are just my observations. That, like, because, like, Tanya called. I hadn't talked to Tanya, and so she called. And I'm, like, trying to talk to her, like, real quiet on the phone. I'm like, hi, what? Okay, are you going to go to the meeting tonight? You know, but, like, it cracks me up that people, like, sit there with their AirPods on. And you're literally standing in a room with 100 other people. And everybody's real quiet. It's like you're in a library, right? And they have their AirPods on, and they're speaking like full blast. They're talking like this loud, right? And this woman was behind me, and she was like, uh-huh, right, uh-huh. Well, her mom died. Her mom, uh-huh. No, it was her mom that died. Uh-huh. No, it was her mom. Uh-huh. Well, we're gonna go to a movie. No, a movie. Mm-hmm. No, I don't know what we're gonna see. And I'm like, seriously, are you having this conversation like so loud, like right in this room where everybody is? And then she like got off the phone. She was like, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And she like got off this phone, and then like seriously, like I kind of like sighed a sigh of relief. I was like, whew. And I think everybody else in the room did too, because I could all hear her talking. And literally like 30 seconds later, she was like, hello. She was like, I just wanted to call and see if you were doing okay. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? She's like making all of her phone calls. And it's just like people's complete lack of awareness of their spatial area, you know, of like when you're out in public, like cracks me up. It's like when you guys go, like when I should just only speak of my experience. When you go to like a gas station or I only really see this at gas stations. It's not like you see it at like the grocery store or anything like that. But when you go to the gas station and the person that's walking or working behind the counter is like like, you know, I'll get like my fountain pop or whatever, and I'm up there, and they'll be like, they'll be like, seriously? And I'm like, what? And they're like, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it's like, I, you know, hand over like a $5 or whatever, and they're like, well, I wouldn't hand over $5 because I never have cash on me, but like, you know, I like put my card in or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, that's not good. And I'm like, oh, did I do something wrong? And they're like, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, get off the phone. Like, seriously, get off the phone. Like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Craziness. Anyway. I mean, I can understand, like, if the gas station, and it's always when the gas station, there's like a line a mile long, you know? And I can understand, like, I know that there's the one person out there, and they're like real mad that I made that comment, and they're like, well, I work in a gas station, and you don't know what it's like, and blah, 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 whatever. Well, okay. Fair statement. I don't work in a gas station, and I don't know what that's like. But I will say this, that I have in my life worked for not a lot of money, and I can't imagine just standing there on the phone talking to friends of mine while I was getting paid to work, and that my supervisor would have thought that that was okay. In fact, I can remember us kind of like, if she would ever walk by, like when we were just like sitting around, this only happened on a few occasions, but her mantra was, if you don't have enough to do, I can find something for you to do. And she would say that to us, you know? And that was when I was making $7 an hour, you know? So, I mean, I understand, but it always kind of cracks me up too, you know? They're like, I'm not talking to you. Or sometimes they don't even say it. Sometimes they don't even, it's like you have to assume it on your own, and you're so confused. Did you hear that somebody won that $2 billion, I think it was almost $2 billion Powerball? I was going to buy lottery tickets too. I'm so mad. It could have been me. I forgot though. I forgot to buy tickets. Damn it, Janet. I take $10,000 at this point. You know what I mean? Like, if I won the $10,000 lottery, is there even a $10,000? Well, the daily numbers and stuff like that, it's probably. I'm excited about my meeting tonight. It'll be fun. It's because it's not too cold, so we can stand outside and talk after the meeting. Because everybody, you know, they lock up the church and we stand outside and talk and stuff. So, but I hope I get to see some of my friends tonight. It just kind of depends. You don't really know, like, you know, who's gonna come and who's not gonna come and things like that. So, I haven't seen Tanya Jean in over a week, so I'm excited to see her. And let's see. What else to talk about? This is just kind of a press release video today. There's just not tons to talk about. Sorry. My neighbors across the street are leaving right now. My neighbors were so sweet. Like, I came walking, here we go, out of focus again. Every time it goes dark, it gets out of focus. You know what's so weird is, when it gets dark, it's like the box goes away. Hold on just a second. When it gets dark, the box goes away, and now the box is back, and the box, which I'm talking about, which is right here, is what focuses on my face. But like when it gets really dark, the box goes away, and then it can't focus on my face. But I was like walking down the street, and I was like playing music. I had like, forgot my AirPods, speaking of AirPods, to listen to music today. And so like, because I didn't think I'd be walking back, I thought I'd be Ubering back. So, you know, and I should just bring my AirPods with me wherever I go, but I don't think that way. And so I'm like, I had my phone like in my hoodie, like, you know, the little pouch of my hoodie. And so I was walking down the street, and I was like listening to music and whatever. And my neighbor across the street, I was talking to her when I got back, and she was like, where have you been? And I was like, oh, I went up to vote. And she was like, why don't you ask us to take you places? And I was like, well, your garage door was closed when I was sitting out here earlier, and I didn't want to go over. And she was like, we don't work. She's like, you know, she was like, my husband, she's like, he'll take you anywhere. That's what he's here for. I said, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I feel bad about that though. And she was showing me all of her stuff that she was cutting back. And then I took Boo Radley out, and he ran over, and he loves her. And so he was like, oh. And she was like, oh, Boo Radley. Oh, Boo Radley. And so Boo Radley ran around and did his business. And But then my neighbors to the right of me, they were outside playing with their grandkids. Their daughter's over, and so they were like having dinner and playing with their grandkids out in the yard earlier. And so they said, well, what have you been up to today? Are you like working and whatever? And I said, I just got back not too long ago from voting. And they said, they were asking me where they voted or where I voted. And because I think there's like 3 or 4 different places that you can vote, like for where we live. And so I was telling them I voted right up the street, and they're like, well, we would have taken you there. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's like, okay. My neighbors are so sweet. I don't know. I felt bad asking really anybody today. And then I was like, I should have so figured this out and arranged this like days ago. And then like 2 of my friends that I talked to were like, why didn't you just like absentee ballot and mail it in? And I honestly, like, I didn't even think about it. I just feel like, and I know this is going to sound kind of like, if you feel this way, you'll get it. And if you don't feel this way, then you won't get it. And come on, stop going out of focus. I'm so tired of this. Riley is barking because the neighbor dog is barking. I don't think it's gonna focus. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to get off here in just a second because this lighting is not great. I'm gonna have to figure out something as far as the lighting for these videos, because the lighting is one thing, but like the focus and it completely being out of focus is another thing. But what I was saying is, and like I said, like if you feel the same way as me, you'll probably get it. And if you don't, you'll probably be like, is it really that big of a deal? But I kind of feel like it's an honor to vote in person. I don't really know how to explain it. It kind of reminds me of like when I like turned 18 and I could go vote, you know, and whatever. And even though like I don't love waiting in line for an hour, there's something to me that feels like I'm part of something bigger than myself when I'm standing there in the line, you know, and the campaign people are outside and they're talking to you and whatnot. Like it feels like I'm bigger, like I'm part of something bigger than myself. And so I like that process, you know. I like being able to go do that. And so anyway, so yeah, so, but next time I'm gonna have to like, I just need to start in general planning things out in advance. Like, you know, as far as like tomorrow, like with my hair appointment, I knew nobody could take me to my hair appointment tomorrow. So I was like, okay, I gotta get up by this time. I've got to make sure that like I have an Uber ordered by this time so that I can get to my hair appointment by this time. You guys, this is out of focus central. I'm so over it tonight. I don't know why. It's really driving me crazy tonight versus other nights. But I know this is a really short vlog tonight, but I'm gonna get off. Oh, there it goes. It goes back in. I'm gonna get off here now, and I'm gonna go get ready and take a long hot shower and put on some comfy clothes to go to my meeting tonight and get all spiritual and balanced at my meeting and have a good cup of coffee. And the church ladies, where we have our meeting, they always leave us cookies out, and they like really nice cookies that they like make homemade and stuff like that. And they always say for the meeting on them with like a little post-it note. We raise money for them like once a year, and then we give them like this, like we give them like a donation or like a present at like Christmas time and stuff like that. But isn't that so nice that they give us every week? They give us like 3 different kinds of cookies, like chocolate chip cookies, snickerdoodles, Ranger are my favorite. Ranger cookies are like chocolate chip with oatmeal. But anyway, every week they give us like cookies. I try not to have too many of them. I do. I try not to have too many of them. I try to, and then like people always bring cookies and stuff too. So then there's always like sugar cookies that people bring from the grocery store. You know, like the highly frosted sugar cookies and stuff. So I try to only have like 1, maybe 2 cookies at max. Like whenever there's peanut butter or snickerdoodle, I'm screwed because those are my 2 favorites. But Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get off here now. Tomorrow I will do a longer vlog. It's going out of focus, which means it was meant to be short. So anyway, thank you for hanging out on the front porch with me tonight. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over or your week over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but don't tell anyone. Shh. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. It could really turn around their day and change their day and put a smile on their face. And I love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!